Alright dudes, Ryan here. Man, is it miserable outside, and I don't just mean the rain. It's grey, dark and kind of sad looking, which is kind of how the UK always looks, sadly, but everything feels just the air of more depressing and desperate than usual. Don't know why. Probably the state of the world and everything. But you know what I need? I need something cute and adorable right now in my life. But, it's October, the month of horror. And I want to do a once spooky themed video at some point. How conflicting. I want something that's adorable, and I want something that's scary, creepy and dripping in atmosphere. Let's go to the mall. Yes, today we are going to look at my new obsession, Little Nightmares, the cutest little horror game I've ever seen. And I mean, look at our protagonist. She looks so adorable, but yet not to the point she doesn't look like she doesn't belong to this world. She still looks somewhat creepy herself. I could hug her, but also shit myself at the sight of her in a dark alley. But my god, just look at this world in general. Everything looks like it's from Tim Burton's Nightmares. How can you not fall in love with the game's art style? That was the reason I was interested in the game. The art style is beautiful, gross, horrifying and weirdly cute. It plays into my love of cartoony horror games like Medieval and Luigi's Mansion. And the music as well. Damn, this game has such simple but yet haunting melodies. Just listen to Six's theme. It's a little tune that's made from music boxes, not some MIDI synth thing. I still hum Six's theme to myself on occasion. It's that catchy. The whole sound design itself is noticeably great. From the pitter patter of Six's bare feet against the metal and wooden floors, the groan of the moor as it sways above in the water, the groans, grunts and breathing of the monsters that chases you, down to the water dripping onto the floor. The sound designers have done an excellent job bringing this nightmare into reality. But if that's all the game had gone for it, then I wouldn't be here kissing its arse. So, let's go in depth with Little Nightmares gameplay. Little Nightmares is a 2D platformer that moves in a 3D space, but that camera acts like it's a 2D platformer. I was supposed to have a dictionary for this scene, but I found out I don't actually own a dictionary. So, yeah. Bugger me, am I right? But for those that are struggling with the idea of the actual gameplay, it's basically like the Luigi's Mansion series, except you can jump. Surprisingly, the 3D isn't a gimmick and it's used really well in solving puzzles, climbing and hiding from monsters. Anyone who's a fan of the Super Mario series is probably shitting themselves knowing that they can't jump in Luigi's Mansion. Oh, and don't worry, we'll get to the monsters soon enough. Our main character, called Six, has a limited amount of abilities from jumping, crawling, running, sliding, pushing, pulling, climbing, and using a little pocket lighter. Not quite your typical mascot platformer, is she? For the most part, it's really satisfying jumping about and solving puzzles. But the 3D nature of the game with the 2D camera can be disorientating. What I mean is, when you're playing Crash Bandicoot and you misjudge a jump because you can't tell the distance? Imagine that in the 2D platformer. Unfortunately, some of the jumps can be hard to make due to not knowing how Six will land, leading to some unfair deaths. There was a bit in one of the later levels where I had to walk in a straight line or I fall to my death, but I struggled to do so as the 3D control had Six going all over the place. It's not that bad anywhere else, but it's very noticeable here. Fortunately, Little Nightmares is a fair checkpoint system, so it's not too annoying, and the load times are pretty good unless you're playing the Switch version, which takes forever. Like most platformers, you keep going to the right to get to the next level, but unlike say Mario or Sonic, you don't fight your enemies, you hide from them. The enemies in the game are massive compared to you, and you've got to survive your encounters with them while solving puzzles. You normally end up having to hide from them in various boxes or under tables and beds. Normally getting away from them is the puzzle itself. There's also the odd chase sequence, kind of like Crash Bandicoot. There isn't too much to talk about gameplay wise here. It's nice and simple but very effective. No, with Little Nightmares you're here for the oppressive atmosphere and story. Little Nightmares has got a rather grim story, or at least hints at one. While the basic premise is a little girl awakes on a strange ship and must escape it, there is so much more to the story than its surface level premise. The only lines of dialogue spoken in this entire game is a few grunts from Six and groans from the monsters. We don't even learn Six's name from the game, we only know about it thanks to marketing material. This game tells an entire story for environmental and gameplay alone, so describing the story will be difficult to say the least. There are many interpretations of the game and its story, so if the footage I showed you looked good and you like my description, turn the video off and play the game because I'm not going to spoil it for you. Yes, this review would not delve into the story unlike some of my previous ones. I truly believe you need to experience it for yourself and I dare not ruin it for you. So, do I recommend the game? Yeah, 100%. The character designs and atmosphere alone is worth the entry price, but the dark story that follows is just the cherry on top. So, yeah, I guess that's the review. Guess I'll see you all next video. Or, I can talk about the DLC. The Secrets of the Mall, a DLC collection, added 3 new chapters to the game, and surprisingly they all add some new gameplay idea to the already set formula. It promised to answer the secrets of the Mall. Shocking I know, but to be honest I thought at first if you played the main game you would already know it. But here's the thing, the Mall has got more than one secret. Instead of playing as Six, you play as the runaway kid. I bet you can guess what his goal is here. Now, what's interesting about the kid's design is that he isn't wearing brightly coloured clothing like Six that help to stand out from the darker colours of the game. I can't say I understand the change of design philosophy here. He definitely doesn't stand out as much as Six. He also uses a flashlight instead of a lighter as well. Each level has puzzles based on a certain gimmick or skill. The first introduces swimming into the game, something Six didn't do. All the levels' puzzles are based on water, such as rising and lowering water levels and avoiding the newly created monster for this DLC, the Granny. I found the level a bit frustrating thanks to the Granny keep catching me, but with enough patience I got through it. The second level is based around the gnomes, those little creatures we pointed at you find throughout the main game. See, you have to find a load of them throughout the level to constantly throw coal into a machine to start it up and allow you to continue. What's interesting about this level is that it's the first level in the game where you don't only go right. It's a very explorative level, challenging you to explore every inch of it to find the gnomes. The puzzles are involving you finding and taming the gnomes. You can even use the gnomes for some puzzles like opening doors or pushing heavy objects. Kinda like a simplified version of Pikmin. Now, the third and final level is rather spoilerish, so the only thing I'll mention is that it introduces combat. Yep, Little Nightmares has combat now, and it's meh, but it fits in a weird way. The combat is not the focus of the level, it's more on retrieving these statues that are spread out throughout the level. But at a certain point, the lights go out and you're attacked by these little shadow creatures. One hit and you're dead. To stand a chance against them, you need to shine your flashlight at them every few seconds. While very basic and meh, it does suit a horror game. You're a small child in a horrible world. The combat will not make you feel like Batman, and it shouldn't do in the first place. Kinda like how they do it in Alan Wake, except you haven't got a gun and Little Nightmares is not sniffing its own farts nearly as much. Now, do I recommend the DLC? Yes, it is rather fun, but I recommend it for the twist at the end of it. A twist I shall not spoil for you as you need to experience it for yourself. Overall, Little Nightmares is a great game, but it won't be for everyone. If you're only into the big AAA games, you probably won't find much here, but if you want to try something different but not too far out there gameplay wise, I recommend it. But I recommend it more if you're into spooky skeleton fun. I feel like the fans of atmospheric horror find a lot to like here. If anyone is interested, I will do a follow-up video on the story or other games in the series if this video gets traction, or if I just get bored, either way. Thank you all for watching. I hope to see you again in the future. Bye.